I hear the critics say. Social action projects and climate change campaigns belong to the time before the credit crunch. Now Osborne and Cameron are talking the language of budget responsibility and spending cuts, they say. Progressive politics is a luxury the Conservative Party can't afford in an age of austerity, the critics say. Well, those critics could not be more wrong. There is no trade-off between progressive values and economic recovery. They go hand in hand. Why? Well, first, fiscal responsibility is itself deeply progressive. For as I argued here in this room, in the similar heat to Demos last August, where is the fairness in saddling future generations with our own soaring debts? It may have been that most conservative of thinkers, Edmund Burke, who said that society is a partnership not only between those who are living, but between those who are living, those who are dead, and those who are to be born. But there is nothing remotely progressive about tearing up that partnership and borrowing £1 in every 4 that you spend, which the British government is currently doing. How can you provide consistently well-funded public services when you lose control of public spending? How can you build a more equal society when your government ends up spending more on servicing the cost of its debts than it does on educating your children? And I have argued for fiscal responsibility from the moment I became Shadow Chancellor more than 4 years ago. I argued it with my own party in good times, like at our party conference in 2006, when some wanted me to commit to large unfunded tax cuts, and how right we were to resist that then. And I've argued it with my opponents in difficult economic times, when I warned them last autumn that the cupboard was bare and the discretionary borrowing had to stop. And now Britain faces the humiliating possibility of losing its international credit rating. And the irony today is that that understanding that fiscal responsibility is the heart of good progressive government was the great insight of the New Left in the early 1990s. It was Bill Clinton and the New Democrats who made the case for balanced budgets and deficit control against both some on the Republican right and the hardcore left of their own party. And during an economic recovery, they eliminated the US budget deficit and pushed ahead with deeply controversial welfare reform, something many thought was impossible. And in so doing, they laid the foundations for the growth, the prosperity, and the progressive politics of 90s America.